and my last night before delivery, hopefully, I spent in Rose Town, like Rose, the flower, and town, village town, Rose Town, Saskatchewan. Check it out. So it's the intersection of Highway 4 and Highway 7. And Highway 4 goes like this. This is Highway 4, and Highway 7 goes west and east. And when I was ordering my Saskatchewan permit, I told them I want to take 7. You know, I don't know these highways, but I looked up on Google Maps, right? That's where it's sending me west. Because if I take Highway 7 and then a couple of other highways, I get to Red Deer. And my delivery, like originally they said Edmonton, right? But it's actually west of Red Deer, which is closer. And so from this Rose Town, I was, you know, I needed to get fuel because I was pretty much empty because it's very windy. Yesterday was very windy. So I burned like 70 liters per 100 kilometers. Oh, check this out. You see that? Deer. And so I checked the distance. It's 320 kilometers, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, I have like about $1,000 left on my account because in my account because the expenses with this trip have been mind-boggling. And the last straw was yesterday when I was ordering the Alberta permit online. It took me an hour, but they allow you to reuse your previous application. You see this? How much stuff flies across? It's very windy, like going from here to here. And so I'm driving in 8 low, 80 kilometers an hour. Screw this. Because my boost is already like almost 30 psi. You know, otherwise it's just freaking 80 liters per 100 kilometers. Because it's too windy. And too many hills here. So anyway, I'm ordering the permit, and I did not notice that you know, it's very helpful when you order the weights because it's all online, right? They check and they tell you what's allowed. You know, they say, okay, axle rated 4, and I put in those numbers, and then based on that and the spacings you put in, they tell you permit weight. And on my drives it said 27,000 kgs. No, on the Tridem, on the trailer, 27,000, and I put in 27,300 in the next column, which is weight requested, right? Whereas to the left it says maximum pretty much weight, so you cannot exceed that, right? But I did not notice that. I made sure my front axle for Alberta was not more than 16,000 pounds because that's the max they allow. They don't care what kind of tires you have, how big your tires are. And so I checked that, but I forgot about this. So I was 300 kilos, or what is it, like 750 pounds over what they allow. And you click next. It takes a while to find the origin and destination because they have this stupid system. You cannot just punch in the address, and there's no address. Like, I'm coming from Saskatchewan, so I need to find that intersection. They say, okay, give us coordinates. I try in Google Maps, coordinates, that format does not work. When I put it in, those a bunch of numbers, you know, like a string of numbers. Oh, incorrect, that's incorrect number. And so I try to find junction, and finally I figured it out. They want to put like AB, Alberta, SK, Saskatchewan, 14. So basically the border between Alberta and Saskatchewan on Highway 14. So you need to know these codes, you know. And that allowed me to find the origin, and then I found the destination. I found some company that Rocky Mountain House, that's the name of the town where I'm going. I couldn't find this company where I'm going, but I found somebody else there in downtown. I put that in. Screw this. And so I know that I don't want to mess with the route in Alberta, so it's best you just click the button called check the route or verify the route with nothing in. Like, I don't put my own route, right? I just tell the map to give me the proper trucking route, you know. You click that, and it finds it, but it looks like freaking huge detour. You know, it's not allowing me to go on 7. I mean on 13, because right now I'm going on this 4 in Saskatchewan, and then I turn left on 14, and 14 crosses into Alberta and it becomes 13, right? But I mean, I wanted to go on 7. 7 is the direct route, but Saskatchewan guy told me no, there's construction on 7. He says the width is again 3.7 meters. So I'm 3.6 at the bottom, but they don't want that because they go by the widest number. So I'm 3.84 meters or 12.7 at the top, and so they go by that. If they see the restriction, you know, 3.7 and you're like 3.84, they're not, even at the top, they're not gonna allow you to go there. And so he says, no, you have to keep going north on 4 and go basically to the next big road that goes west, which is 14. You know, because of this, Alberta sending me, you know, what is it, 13 and then 2A, 2 down to Red Deer. So basically, I'm going away from my route. Like, that was the shortest way, is Highway 7. But again, Saskatchewan doesn't want me there, Alberta doesn't want me there, right? And so I'm going like this, and then coming back toward Red Deer. And remember how I was calculating the mileage? I was happy to see that I was only 350 kilometers away. And then I'm lying in bed, you know, thinking how to get out of that parking lot, because I went on 7. I spent the night at that co-op truck stop. Lots of space, but the entrance is from Highway 7. So I was going on 4, and 7 goes like this. And you just have to turn, I don't know, like 50 meters on 7, and that's the entrance, right? But now I park there, managed to pull in, and I'm facing west. I'm facing towards 7. And, you know, how do I get around? I went inside, and the lady says, oh, just go around the building. Because I said, I need to buy fuel, and the pump was right in front of me. I said, I'll do it in the morning, because the price was $1.24, you know? And I went in the back. Oh yeah, there's a lot of space. Actually, I didn't see it. You can go around the building of the gas station and get back to the same parking lot, because I needed to get back to 4, this one, right? And then I'm lying in bed thinking about this, how to get out. Like, I cannot sleep. I woke up at 5 o'clock, but it's already 2 hours. I'm already on mountain time. So now it's 5 to 10. It's actually 5 to 7 over here, you know, which is good. And so I'm thinking about that, and then one thing occurs to me, like a horror thought. Wait a second, that 325 kilometers, that was if I were to go on Highway 7. Let me check the distance. So I open my computer, I start my hotspot on the phone, and I put, you know, Rosetown, Saskatchewan. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with my... I'm not sure what's going on with my 9, just shut down. Anyway, I put down the route and I drag it the way they're sending me. You know, 4 north to 14 west in Saskatchewan towards Alberta border, and then 13 west 2A, south 2 south, and then I think it's Highway 11 west or Highway 12. And guess what? Instead of 325 kilometers, now it's 650 kilometers, so almost twice longer. So now I thought I would just get like 200 liters of diesel. Man. Oh yeah, and what I meant by the last straw is that yesterday when I'm ordering the permit, so I made a mistake with the 300 kilos. And when you get to the last page, it says, are you sure you want to submit this application? And I said, yes. And the next screen you see is you have to pay. It's only an application, but you still have to pay to submit it. And so it opens the window, so I put in my Visa card number, and it says approved. It was $246. Okay. And then I go to my bank webpage just to make sure it went through. I don't see the payment, but I see that the available balance went down. You know, let's say before it was $1,000, now all of a sudden it's $750, right? So like kind of like that charge was put in reserve, right? But it's not processed yet. But I'm thinking, okay, at least it went through. So, and then 20 minutes later I get an email that says rejected. Your Alberta permit was rejected. Reason, we are in fall season. Fall season, we only allow 27,000 kgs on the Tridem. On the trailer, you ask for 27.3. Please correct and resubmit. Okay, so I go back to the Travis Web, Alberta, which is online system for ordering permits, and it says adjust permit. You know, actually it's pretty cool, so you don't have to do everything from the start. Adjust permit, and then it's asking you for your application number. So I had that in the email. I put the application number in. I see my application. So I was able to scroll, or you know, flip forward to that page where I made a mistake with the weight. I adjusted the weight. I go, you know, to the last screen. It says, are you sure you want to submit this application? Okay, I click yes. And for some reason, I see the payment page again. It says, enter your credit card info. Like, what the heck? I click cancel. I call them. And they are actually, Alberta, I love them. That they, in Saskatchewan, put me on hold for 1 hour. I waited 1 hour to talk to an agent to get the permit. Alberta, no music. It says, thank you for calling Alberta, you know, transportation permit office. 2 minutes later, you're talking to a live person. I don't know how many agents they have, but it's like this, you know? You have a question, you can call them. They pick up the phone. And so this lady says, yeah, actually, I was the one who rejected your application, so I saw it. And I said, it's asking me, your system is asking me for a second charge. I already paid. And she says, no, that was not, that was just a hold up. We're just holding your funds because the money is only taken when the permit is approved. And so I said, what, I have to pay again? She says, yeah. And I said, why is the new charge $219 instead of $246? And she says, oh, it's because you were 300 kilos over and now you took off 300 kilos. I said, wait, so just because I took off 300 kilos or 700 pounds off, my permit became cheaper by what, 40 bucks? And she said, yep. You know, kind of like gives you a food for thought. You see, like, even that little amount is already 40 bucks. And so I put that in. And then in the morning, when I'm ready to go buy fuel, I want to make sure I have enough money to pay for fuel on that card, right? I go in, and guess what? I see two charges, right, one after another, and they're not pending, they're posted. Posted charge, $246 Canadian, and then right after this, posted charge, $219 Canadian. And I call them. Our office hours are 7 to 9. And I look at the clock, it was like 5 to 7, okay. I call them at 7, and she says, no. I give her my permit number. She says, no, I can only see one permit issued. So she said, it'll go back. It'll go back because we cannot charge you for something that's not been issued. We only charge you for, she says, on my side, I only see $219. So if you want it, she says, I can give you my accounting department phone number. And I said, no. I said, don't worry about it. If you see one charge only, I said, I know usually it stays there for a couple of days. I'll just wait till the end of the day. If it doesn't go away, that $246, I'll call you. And she says, okay. And then I go inside. There's two guys in there. I don't know, they're Chinese, Mongolian. You know, they don't understand me because I'm wearing a mask. I don't give a damn, you know. Nobody's wearing masks over here. I'm wearing double mask. I don't trust anybody. You are sick until proven healthy. That's my motto, okay? Everybody's sick. I'm vaccinated, but now with this Delta crazy variant, you never know, right? So anyway, I do think that a couple of those little masks, they do help a little bit, you know? Call me crazy, but somehow I survived so far, so I must have been doing something right. But this guy, he's behind the plexiglass. I'm wearing a mask. I'm asking him, do I have to prepay or can I just pump and then pay? Oh, excuse me? I said, Jesus, okay, how do I prepay? How much? 500. Okay. So I pay him $500 Canadian. And I go and start pumping, and the pump hose is 5 millimeters wide. No, 3 millimeters wide. It's like, you know, like hose. I wanted to think of a funny analogy. No, okay, it was like my finger. That's the hose, you know, because it's for cars. So it took me half an hour to pump almost, yeah, 400 liters. Why? Because this, I got lucky here, you know. I got unlucky with the Alberta permit, with everything else, with detours, but guess what the price was in Saskatchewan? It's some crazy little town in the middle of nowhere. $1.24 Canadian. I know people in England are crying now. They are crying because they were a bit not very upset. Last time I told them I had to buy fuel at $1.40, and I think their price was like $1.80, $1.90. So they were a bit, they were happy that our price was getting closer to theirs. But now, guys, I'm sorry, but it's $1.24. It's $1.24 Canadian. So which means it's $1 US per liter. $1 US per liter. That means it's $3.78 US per gallon, which is of course is crazy high compared to US, but $1.25, it was $1.24.9. So I take that if I can get it, you know, because like I said, last time I fueled, I think it was no, actually last time it was $1.29, because I stopped in Winnipeg at the junction where I was supposed to turn, because they wouldn't allow me to go to the Flying J, right? And there was a Petro-Canada there, and I went inside, and the guy said, yeah, just pump and then come back and pay. He says, just please make sure you have enough money, because he says, you see that previous guy, he's still parked there. Now he's waiting for his boss, because he pumped like $750 worth of diesel and his card was declined. So you know, and he's like a company driver, so now he's waiting for his boss to come and pay. It was probably a fleet card, you know, it was probably one of those gas or fuel cards, and for some reason he didn't have enough money, so the boss had to come over and pay with his probably personal card. And this poor guy was sitting there, and I asked him to move. He says, I cannot move. He was in my pump lane. I said, please just park here at the next pump, because I said, I cannot go this way, but I can go this way. See, I said how long I am? And the guy says, okay. But he was afraid to move that, you know, he was afraid the gas station guy would think that he's trying to skip, you know. But I think he went inside and he explained the situation. And you see, this actually 80 kilometers an hour. Like, I know when by the way, I'll tell you a little secret. When I'm giving people a quote, and I have a little spreadsheet on my computer, right? I can quickly calculate how much I need for a load based on distance, weight, you know, stuff like that. And when I calculate the travel time, I use 45 miles per hour, you know, because that's the average speed. That's about what, 72 kilometers an hour. So if I limit myself to to 50 miles per hour or 80, and I only have, what, 8 hours left to get to consignee, I don't think I'm gonna lose much, you know? Just the wind is crazy. It's always here in Western Canada, something is always going on. It's either on Highway 1, and you're lucky if it blows, you know, straight in the face, because then there's less resistance. But I hate it when it blows on the side, because, you know, it's a much more difficult for the truck, because there's a lot of surface, right? Like my load, my truck, the sleeper, you know, the trailer. All right, so somewhere here we're turning on 500. I mean, that was 500 meters.
Turn left onto Saskatchewan 14 West, signs for Wilkie.
Oh, there's another truck stop here. Check this out. Or maybe it's private. No, maybe, no, it says TR. Fuel, open 24 hours. We're taking Visa, debit, self-service, $1.32.
Left onto Saskatchewan 14 West, signs for Wilkie.
Uh-oh, it seems a bit sharp over here. So I'm going like this. So yeah, so now I'll be going west. And so now the wind will be blowing right at me. So now I can go a bit faster, because now there's going to be less resistance. But yeah, I know sometimes that that's what happens, unfortunately. I'm just telling you the truth, you know. And basically, I never wanted this channel to be like a BS kind of channel, right? This is kind of like a documentary about life of a heavy hauler. And sometimes, you know, you run low on.
Continue on Saskatchewan 14 West for 67 kilometers.
You run low on funds, you know. And of course, you gotta have a reserve in case you have a flat tire or something like that. And I used up everything I had for this trip. So even though it pays a lot of money, but you have to spend a lot of money to deliver. And that's why I say you gotta have deep pockets, you know, for heavy haul. Because not all banks will understand, you know, like what's going on. Oh well, I'll have a $5 million in my account tomorrow, but today I needed to give me $100 to buy fuel, you know. I'm just checking the gauge. It was full, but of course now it starts pumping diesel into the right tank. Yeah, I think now I can do maybe 90 kilometers an hour. Because like I said, yeah, this is way better when it just blows into your face. Because, you know, it's an aerodynamic truck. Everything is smooth in the front. No, it still blows pretty good. Ah, screw this. I'll stay in 8 low at 1350, so we'll just set the cruise at 80 kilometers an hour when we can get to it. Come on, Cummins. Okay, 80, which is 50 miles per hour. That's it. I'll go faster once I reach Highway 2, because Highway 2 is divided. It's a freeway, and so of course there I don't want to drive this slow. But here there's no traffic. Nobody cares. Right, see there's a bunch of lakes. There's a lake on the left. Oh, check this out. Nice. Gravel. The last thing I need is a cracked windshield. And that's what can happen if the pickup truck is coming towards you. You know? It can easily throw this. And that's another reason to okay, let's start the wipers. If something flows into the windshield, hopefully the wipers see. That was a brilliant idea, actually. Check this out. I'm protecting my windshield like with a bat, you know. Man, I'm a genius. I forgot to clean my windshield again when I was getting fuel. Yeah, so now we're on gravel. Like, how is this better than Highway 7? Man, check this out. There's like smoke behind me. It's all this shit in the air. Pardon my French. But, wow. How far do we have to go like this? Wow, almost 90 miles. So we keep going like this, going west, and in 90 miles we're gonna see the big sign that says "Welcome to Alberta." And I still haven't found place where to buy cartridges for my printer. So my printer is out of commission, but I know in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, they don't care about the actual permit as long as you have the permit number. And that's my Alberta permit number. I wrote it down after I got the email saying that here's your, yeah, you know, once it's approved, they you see this? That's not good. Where did it hit? Son of a gun. I'll definitely see, like, even if I stop, it can hit you. And because of this, I'm not a very big fan. Actually, I like how they look, right? They give you good visibility, but the single piece windshield, you know, it can be a nightmare. See, this guy is flying. He's flying, he doesn't give a heck. That's the last thing I need, is a cracked windshield. And it hit pretty hard somewhere, but I don't see where. But if it did hit, we'll know soon enough. I think it was somewhere on the right. It's like one thing after another, you know. It's like one of those days, or one of those trips, or one of those weeks or months. Do you remember when I got loaded with this thing? September 1st. September 1st. Today's September 15th. So I was staring at that. Oh, check this out. Finally it's over. Cool. So I was staring at that little yellow monster for 2 weeks. it's windy. Two weeks. And again, why did it take so long? First off, I got caught in the Labor Day curfews. I couldn't drive from Friday, I think it was noon, to Tuesday morning, which was September 7th. And then I waited 3 days for Ontario permit. And of course, I made a big detour because I had to go to my yard. I had to get to my yard to pick up the Jeep and Stinger. Otherwise, of course, I would have delivered a long time ago if I had my Jeep and Stinger and I just went across US and entered Alberta through Montana. And now I've been thinking about this. It might have been better to just, because I was in Michigan, right? I was near Kalamazoo, where I was doing the testing for Eden, right? But that's 300 miles. But it might have been a better idea, basically, just to drive 300 miles empty back to my yard, reshuffle everything, add the Jeep, add the Stinger, and then go back to Zanesville, Ohio, get loaded, and then go across US. But it's 300 miles this way, and then I think it's about the same, 300 miles to Ohio, so extra 600 miles. So I'm not sure if that would be a better option, but I just had this idea, so I might have done that. But to know the actual, if it would work or not, I would have to look at the permits, you know, because there's much more permits going through US. But the good thing is that, and I was thinking about this too, why sometimes it's better to deal with a permit broker instead of ordering them yourself. Because, you know, when it's a very long trip and you're running short on ammo, so to speak, the permit broker can save you money because, you know, normally they don't charge you right away, right? Like my broker, for example, they charge me every Monday, right? And so I order the permits, and after all permits issued, once all permits issued, let's say if all permits are issued on Tuesday, they're not gonna charge me until next Monday, right? So it gives you kind of like a credit line, you know. And then if I, you know, because sometimes it's like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, you know. And so I can talk to them sometimes. I send them an email, say, hey, I'm delivering my load next week. Could you please wait charging my card until next week? And they never have a problem with that, you know. But when you do it yourself, like I did now in Canada, I've been doing my own permits in Canada, right? You have to pay yourself right away. You see, I paid Manitoba $265 Canadian. I paid twice for the Alberta permit. They say it'll come back, but so far I lost that $265. I cannot use it because it's blocked on my card, right? And then of course Saskatchewan was $650. So I just spent $1,000, you know, of my own money, and I have to pay that immediately, you know. And so I know some people say, hey, you know, why are you wasting your money with brokers? They charge you fees. But there is a place for brokers, otherwise they wouldn't exist. Like if I look at all the time I wasted with these permits, just waiting on hold on the phone. So Saskatchewan was probably like, I had to call them a couple of times because I didn't receive my permit. They mixed up my email address. I had to call them again, and they put me on hold again. So I probably spent like 2 hours on the phone just getting these 3 permits: Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, right? And Alberta, I spent an hour just getting ready and applying, and then it was rejected. I'm telling you, you waste so much time. Whereas if it's a broker, right? Let's say now I was getting permits for Ohio and Michigan from my permit broker in Iowa, And I could have done easily, like when I'm at the very end where they say routing, I could easily have added a couple of states in Canada, like provinces, right? You know, and they would order on my behalf, and if there's any problems, they deal with that, you know, and they pay with their own credit card. I'm telling you. So yeah, you're losing, like in my case, I think they charge me like 27 bucks a permit, and sometimes if it's a super load, there's another 27 bucks, you know, like Michigan, for example, it's 50 bucks for the permit, but when I was heavy, they charged me $120 for Michigan, and I see 50 bucks Michigan, the government fee, and then something like 35 bucks super load fee, and 27, like there's a bunch of fees in there. So yeah, it's not cheap, but you know, what's cheap about heavy haul? There's nothing cheap, but sometimes time is more important, you know, and not using your own money is more important, you know, because then you have money for, you know, emergencies, fuel and stuff like that. So I don't know, I always use middleman or brokers when it's in my interests, right? Like I use permit broker for US, I use my factoring company in to get my money pretty much on the next day. Yeah, they charge me a fee, but so what? I don't have to chase anybody for money, and they help me to pre-approve the customer, make sure they have a good credit history. So for me, it's a win-win. But check this wind. This freaking, see this? Like it's blowing the truck off the road. See, what's our boost? 30. Even doing 50 miles an hour, my boost is 30. Okay, 25. It was a slight hill. But man, I think I'm gonna run out. If it keeps going like this, I'm gonna run out of fuel before I reach consignee. Then I have to call my fans from Great Britain and get some overpriced diesel from there, maybe. I don't know. So wait a second. It was blowing in my left side. Now I'm going west. Why I still see plants being driven across the road? Well, like, look at this. You see that? That's how strong the wind is. We're driving next to a train. Yeah, I see that. Which way is it going? Yeah, I know we call them перекати поле, like these things, and actually it's going this way. Unbelievable. Yeah, I think it's coming from my right side now. Okay, PSI is 20 PSI. Yeah, at 50 miles an hour, it cannot be crazy 30, because I'm doing 1360 RPM, 1360, and 80 kilometers an hour, 50 miles per hour. But yeah, that's what sometimes, you know, makes this job stressful, because there's so many expenses, you know. And a couple of times when I was doing a load like this, well, I was offered a load, you know, going very far. And sometimes, you know, some companies would be okay giving you like a prepayment, you know. But most of the time they think you're bankrupt or something. They say, wait a second, you want me to go 3,000 miles, pay up front all the fees, you know, fuel, permit, stuff like that, but you don't want to give me any advance, because you're gonna pay me after, but you know, it would be nice to have some money up front. And they always get that morose tone in their voice. Oh, sorry, we don't do cash advances. But then I know one guy, what he does when he has to go very far empty to load, he always takes a prepayment. And I think that's a good idea. You know, let's say they want me to go to like one of the trips I did, right? I went 2,600 miles empty from Canada to Las Vegas, right? And I agree with that. I think they should prepay, because what happens if I'm in Las Vegas, I did so many miles, I spent all this money, right, on fuel, and don't forget about the labor. I was driving the truck, right? And so I want to make sure that the load is there. And one way to make sure is to get paid, you know, some kind of a proportionate rate for this, let's say in this case 2,600 miles, you know. But a lot of companies are not happy doing that either, you know. They think you're trying to scam them because they think you're gonna take that money and not show up in Las Vegas, for example, right? So how do they know? Because I'm taking a chance with them. If they pay me, they will be taking a chance with me, right? That's why they don't like it. They think it's a scam. You know, you're looking for a cash advance, so you get a cash advance from one guy, and then you don't show up there to load, and you book another load, you're asking for a cash advance, and you don't show up there either. And so, you know, you can quickly get, you know, 5, 6, 7,000 bucks and then disappear. But I'm not sure who is doing this, because you would have to re-register your company every time, right? Like, because nobody will work with you. And so guys like that, they kind of spoil the things for honest guys like me, where I just need the prepayment to help with you know, with the mileage and stuff, with the dead miles, you know, empty miles. But no, shippers and brokers, they say no, we don't do cash advances anymore. Well, I'm guessing unless they know you, right? I'm trying to remember, how was it at Landstar? Landstar, you book a load. I know, yeah, I think some of them would give you a cash advance. But you know, it's because you're a Landstar owner-operator, right? You use their insurance, you use their license plate, so... but yeah, when you're independent, it's all on you. Oh, this is Alberta. Looks same as Saskatchewan, same as Manitoba. I'm still on a 2-lane road, and it's still pretty windy. I'm averaging, I cannot believe this. I don't remember last time I saw such high numbers. So pretty much like 80 liters per 100 kilometers, which is nuts. So 37 liters is 10 gallons, right? So 74 is 20 gallons. 20 gallons, and then probably another 2. So 22 gallons per 60 miles. What is that? 22 per 60, so it's 2 gallons for 6 miles, 1 gallon for 3 miles. Well, then it's actually, I'm doing excellent. Wow. Almost like a tank in World War II, you know? Is it? Like, if that blue ball is to the left of that arrow, that means that my fuel economy is better than the number displayed. But if the blue ball rolls to the right, that number will start increasing, yeah. So if the ball is to the left of the arrow, like there's an arrow like that, so now it's right on the dot, so it means that I am doing 81.4 liters, right? But if the ball goes to the left, that number starts decreasing, because it means my fuel economy is better. So I'm burning less fuel, not 81, let's say, but 80 or 79, 78, you know? But no, it's still windy. There's lots of hills, which is fun. And look at the sky, right? That's your typical Western Canada sky. You know, it often looks like this, especially in winter. It's like very, basically puts you in a bad mood, you know? Very depressing. That's the word I was looking for. People keep jumping out in front of me. Like 2 cattle haulers just were entering this highway from some secondary road. There's a stop sign. I can see from a mile away there's a stop sign. One guy stopped briefly, went in front of me, but then his body behind just rolled through the stop sign, jump right in between that guy and me. I had to hit my brakes. I wanted to pull my air horn, but you know, what do you do? It's already too late. He's already in front of me. And what do we have here? Some construction nonsense again? Why are we driving 45 miles per hour? Oh yeah, it's some kind of a drilling operation. So the first one is some kind of a drill rig. And these are his partners in crime. Oh yeah, because they're all turning. Yeah, you do that. We don't want you here. So yeah, it's gonna be like I always say, it's gonna be a long trip. But in 2.5 hours I should be in the glorious town of Camrose, Alberta. And they say they have their own police department and they're very strict, so you gotta be careful. So I called. And there's a bypass. There's a Highway 13 goes straight through downtown, but there's a bypass, but it's narrow. It's not very good for guys like me, and so it looks on the map like they're sending me straight through downtown. But I don't want to upset any small town police officer, right? So I called Alberta permits again. I said, can you guys clarify this little part of my route? Do I go on the bypass or you want me straight through downtown? And they said, no, you should be proud of what you do for a living, so we're not gonna hide you on the bypass. You should go straight through, you know, proud and visible to everybody. No, she said, yeah, I'm looking at your map, and she says this map that's on your emailed permit, it's actually kind of like interactive. You can increase the scale. I tried it on the phone. It didn't work very well, but she says if you're on a good connection, like internet, you can increase the scale and you can actually see every town. So it's a very detailed electronic map that's included in your emailed permit. And so I did that, and I see, yeah. Oh, and actually there was a small cutout map for each. There's like a couple of municipalities I had to pay extra for. I think they charged me $15, 15 Canadian. Some municipalities charge a fee for oversized load. Like I'm going through this Camrose, and then there's another town with a curious name, Wetaskiwin, Alberta. And either that one or this one, they charge me 15 bucks. And so there's a cutout map, like an extra page of the permit, how I go around Camrose, or rather through, and then Wetaskiwin. And so yeah, now it's clear. It's clear how I go through, as long as I get enough fuel to reach my, which I honestly, with 80 liters per 100 kilometers, I'm not sure how it's gonna work, because it's just nuts. I don't think actually it's 3 miles per gallon. I think it's more like 1.5. I don't know. And the truck just doesn't want to drive, you know, with this heavy load and heavy wind. It takes forever to get to the speed, but I don't want to be too negative, because life is still good. I'm getting a lot of money, a lot of money. I'm getting a lot of money. That's what I keep telling myself. So I'm but in order to get a lot of money, I need to deliver this load. So I called my bank. I said, I need more money on my credit card. The guy said, what's that? I cannot hear you. I said, I need more money on my credit card. This guy like, sir, your phone is cutting out. I can hardly hear you. It's all hissing. So I disconnected my my fancy blue parrot, and just I was parked. So I disconnected the blue parrot, and I grabbed my phone, because sometimes, you know, it helps when you're just talking on the phone instead of through the Bluetooth device, because there can be some distortion. I grabbed the phone, the guy still cannot hear me, so I just hang up. But I'm guessing I'll definitely need another input of fuel somewhere before, because I only got 400 liters this morning, right? So that's about like 100 gallons is 378, right? So just 22 liters over 100 gallons US. And so if I'm doing 3 miles a gallon, so that's only good for 300 miles, right? Whereas it was more like 400 miles, you see? So the math does not add up. So, and that's why my next stop, actually, you know, what I usually do is, when it's a road is like this, I don't want to waste 2 hours, you know, planning all these waypoints and Google Maps. So I just do the next stop, you know. This way it's easier. So I opened, I'll tell you my trade secret. I opened the tracker path with location on, you know, so it can see where you are. And then I start looking for, you know, I know where I'm going, right? I can see all the roads. I start looking for a truck stop or parking or something about 120 miles away, which is roughly 2 hours. But of course, with this load, it takes me 2.5 hours, but it's good. So 120 miles away, and that's how I found my first stop. I searched and I saw there was a Petro Canada, brand new, you know, good coffee, parking in the back for big trucks, except that some delivery guy showed up and backed like this in front of me. I couldn't get out, so then I waited for him to leave, because he was doing some kind of a delivery. And but yeah, it was a good stop. So now I found another legitimate truck stop on Tracker Path on my route, which is in Wetaskiwin. Wetaskiwin, there's another Petro Canada, and it was 260 kilometers away, so which is a bit more than I want to do, because it'll take me 3 hours for sure, because 100 kilometers is 60 miles, right? So 120 is roughly 200 kilometers. 260, that's another 40 miles. But once I'm there, I should be out of all these small towns, because right after Wetaskiwin, they're finally sending me on the freeway, which is 2A. And like, so basically I'm doing like this big loop, almost going towards Edmonton, because Wetaskiwin is just south of Edmonton, right? And I was southeast, and so they send me like this to that Wetaskiwin, and then I take 2A south, and it connects with 2, and then I go back south towards Red Deer. If you remember, that's where I delivered, what did I have there? Some kind of a drill rig. When I went to a hotel there, I found a huge rest area for trucks with a you know, bathrooms and a Burger King and something like that. I sat there for a week, no, for a few days. Then I drove to this hotel, and I remember next door to the hotel is my favorite Canadian burger joint, A&W, not American, Canadian. A&W, and they're right, you know, adjoined with the hotel, and they allow you to use their parking lot. So even with my huge rig, like empty, I was able to go in the back and park there. And so that's the plan. So I'm gonna deliver this about 30 miles or 50K west of Red Deer, and then I don't know, either today or maybe even tomorrow, because it's already 2 o'clock. I'm still 5-6 hours away. And if I deliver this late, I'm not gonna get paid anyway until tomorrow, because my factoring company has a cutoff at 10 a.m. Eastern time, which is which is 8 a.m. here. Oh wow, that's not good. Which means I have to deliver like at 7 a.m. Let's say tomorrow I have to deliver 7 a.m. That's already 9 in Toronto. Yeah, I gotta be quick, you know, sending in my invoice. And that's what I did yesterday. Yesterday finally I had my bill of lading all ready to be signed with the guy, right? And yesterday night I created my invoice, and then did the video, and somehow I didn't even feel like playing in my accordion, so I'll have to do some catching up today. Otherwise, you know, if you don't play every day, even a little bit, you start quickly to forget, because I'm still very new at this, and I only learned, like, I think I have 4 pieces I can play from the sheet, from your music sheet, like 4 very short pieces, but with both hands. And the accordion sounds good, you know, helps me let out some stress at the end of the day. So it's all good. It's sitting somewhere there on the second shelf. And a lot of guys here in Alberta that do local heavy haul, right? They all have ramps in the back. Did you guys notice that? So because of that, their trailer is shorter. So they probably only have like 24 feet in the well, because after the wheels there's a ramp. So it goes down. And so this way they don't have to disconnect. If they don't have to, like some big machine, they just drive it on from the back. You know, I don't know, saves them 2.5 minutes. Like, yeah, for me disconnecting, it's like, I don't know, pretty much instantaneous. You open the safety thing, you unhook your hoses, you put it down, drive away. right? Easy. But hooking back probably takes 2 times longer, because sometimes I cannot get into those, because it's a very, you know, little clearance in there. So sometimes it takes 2-3 times till you get it right. But still, it's, I don't know, what's the deal? In the back it's still very high if you're climbing, and then, you know, the machine will slam down because it's a very steep climb. But I saw once a guy load something huge, like, I forgot, but it was a Caterpillar excavator, but it was humongous. And this guy was unloading from the back using that method from the ramp. I'm telling you, it was very scary. So yeah, it can save you a couple of minutes, but you know, you can get killed. I don't understand this. And plus your deck, because of those ramps, your deck is very short. See, the leaves already turning yellow. The fall is coming. Oh, finally my truck started pulling. Okay, I can see my restriction went down. I just wish this wind would, you know, would disappear. Without the wind. Oh, well, by the way, to give you a comparison, some guy asked me about my fuel mileage when I was in Ohio driving with this thing, but I didn't have the Jeep, right? I didn't have the Stinger. It was just a 4-axle truck with a pusher down and 4-axle trailer. So that's 60,000 pounds empty plus 92. So 90 and 60, so 152 gross, right? I was doing 55 liters per 100 kilometers driving on I-70 at the same speed, 56 miles per hour. And now I added the Jeep, almost 9,000 pounds, and I added the Stinger, about 7,000 pounds. So now my empty weight is 73.5, 73,500 pounds. So yeah, 13.5, 13,500 pounds heavier than before. And right away I noticed that I'm burning more fuel. On a good road in Ontario, I saw 65 liters. And then once I started driving here in these windy conditions, you know, I see this. Now we're 81. Man. Sometimes I miss my Mack truck, you know. That 13, it was useless in many respects, but in one regard, it was good. It was fuel economy. That 13-liter engine. But it only had 1860 torque. So I had to change the axle ratio to 410, otherwise it wasn't pulling. So I'm not sure how it would work with these weights. But I know the fuel economy would be better on a smaller engine. Well, I made it to Camrose, Alberta. And this is the tricky town where I was told cops like stopping oversized loads, and because there's a bypass, right? And I know 100% that I have to go through here. This is Highway 13. And then I'm coming to that bypass, which is 13A. I see an arrow, it says all overweight loads go this way on 13A. And I panicked, I almost hit my brakes, but then I see another sign that says all over width loads, like loads that are too wide, go straight. Because yeah, they told me that 13A, it's not wide, you know. But they say that a peace officer or a cop can stop you and just check your permit, you know, to make sure this is where you're supposed to be. And my main tank is just about 1/4. It's like amazing, but my second tank is at 50%. And this morning I filled up 400 liters, right? 110 gallons US, and I pretty much burned it in 5 hours. But something interesting happened actually. When I was getting those really bad, you know, readings like 82 liters, whatever, I noticed that my fuel restriction was slightly higher than it should be, and the truck didn't want to pull, you know. And so, but then, as it often happens, after a couple of hours, it like something blew open, you know. I see the restriction go down, and right away I could feel the truck was pulling much better. And I noticed the fuel mileage, you know, gradually it went down from 82 to, you know, like 79, 78. Was it now? 76, you see? So 76 liters, that means that I'm burning less than before, right? So, because with liters, some guys get confused, you know, like miles per gallon, right? It's better when it's a higher number, because that's your miles, how many miles you can do. But with the liters, you want a small number, because over here you're measuring how much fuel you're gonna burn. So of course you want to burn less. Now the bridge ahead, the sign says 5.3 meters tall. Well, I know that my gross overall height is 4.22. Oh, check this out. Wow, cool looking truck. Oh wow, and they have construction over there. So 5.3 meters, that's almost a meter over what I am, which is like 4 feet, 3 feet. All right, what do we have here? Oh, now we gotta finally get a chance to knock down some pylons. I've been dreaming about this moment. Well, I'm on my permit. I'm on my permit route. And let me guess what we have here. 3.7 meters. Yeah, otherwise it would be too easy, right? Everybody will be doing this job, you know. Uh-oh. I knocked down one. Alright, this guy over here. But actually, you know, they're kind of like rubber. So they, I saw one just got tilted. Okay, now the last thing I want is hit this sign over here. Oh man, they're falling like I don't know, what's the expression? Bowling pins. Yeah, they're falling like bowling pins. Okay, we're not gonna hit this one. Lots of space. Yeah, I think sometimes construction guys, you know, they report, hey, it's 3.7 meters, right? And they're like, who's gonna know? And so they put those pylons 3.6, you know, 3.65, because they want more room for themselves there where they're working, right? Man, it's right downtown. Well, it's not like a city street because it's still pretty wide, but a bunch of lights. Okay, here I can go onto this lane. Okay, what's the speed limit here? I think it's 50. Wow. Yeah, 50, 50. 50 clicks an hour. Don't drive next to me, buddy. Cannot be too close here because they have these poles over here, right? Right now my track is where? Right on the edge of the gray, you know, material. Slightly over. Well, actually it's still probably 2 feet. Like that post is gonna be probably 2 feet away. Like that one is close on the grass. This one is close. Yeah, I might need to go in the left lane maybe. Check this out. There's a K, Circle K, which is American. I only saw like one maybe in Ontario. Diesel is $16.9, and earlier today I saw $12, and again that's Canadian. But I filled up at $24.9, which is $25. I feel pretty good about that, but of course I cannot get in there. I'd have to drop the trailer, but that's what I would do, you know. If I see a good price like that, I just drove the trailer, and I'll tell you another one of my secrets. So I go to the truck, to the fifth wheel, I pull the lock. If the lock is stuck, that's it. I'm not wasting time on trying to separate the truck from the Jeep. Then I go to the Jeep's fifth wheel, and quite often that one just slides open, and on my Jeep I only have one lock handle, right? Whereas on the truck it's two. And when I got this truck, it took me a while to figure out how to unlock the fifth wheel. I never had a truck with two handles, so this was the first. Thank you, Chris, the Kenworth sales guy. We need more challenges. And so yeah, so if the truck is stuck and I don't feel like doing, you know, back and forth to release the fifth wheel, and the Jeep's fifth wheel opens easily, I just drop the suspension on the Jeep, I unlock the neck on the trailer, I put the trailer down and pull slightly forward to make sure that it's unlocked, and then put those, you know, legs down, and I just drive with the Jeep and with the neck attached to the Jeep. You know, which is fun because it confuses the heck out of people, like, what is that? So it looks like a truck is pulling a small trailer, because that's what the Jeep looks like, right? A small trailer. But then on the back of the Jeep you have some kind of a frame. So I bet very few people can figure out what that means. Alright, I think we're done with the worst part, because this is like the final shopping plaza. And then I see no more lights after that one. But here they have Fat Burger, Chopped Leaf Restaurant, Safeway, which is the grocery store, Ace Liquor, which is funny because Ace is usually Ace Lumber, Starbucks Coffee. No, I cannot. I don't want to mess with the local cops, because like I said, they can be pretty strict. Other place, if this was a, oh, actually one place I remember I stopped just to go in the gas station to, you know, use the bathroom and buy some coffee. And it was a 4-lane road, but I stopped where the fourth lane, the curb lane, was ending. And usually, you know, because it was the kind of like last intersection of this little town, somewhere in Ohio, I think, or I don't remember. And so, you know, it's like ending like that. And so I pulled through so that people can see the sign. You know, it's never a good idea to block the sign that says, you know, right lane ends. So I pulled forward, I'm on the shoulder, away from everybody. I put in my flashing lights, and of course I have an oversized load. And so I walk maybe 20 meters, you know, 60 feet to the store. I do my business, come back. Already there's a cop behind me. Like, why? We got calls. We got calls. People called the oversized truck blocks the road. I'm not blocking anybody. Yeah, you see, like this. This is a perfect situation. You see, like this. This lane ends, and actually there's even no signs. So something like this is perfect for an oversized load, because then you stop here, just pull forward on the shoulder, because this lane ends anyway, right? You're not in the way. But some people get panicked, you know, as soon as they see flashing lights, oversized load, red flags, you know, they're thinking, what the heck, what is that? Are we having a revolution or insurrection? What's going on? Better call the cops. Jim, this is Jeffrey over here. Truck with Ontario license plates. Looks very suspicious. Red flags, you know, flashing lights, siren. No, check that. No siren, but still suspicious. You better check it out. Yes, sir, Jeffrey, sir. Right away, sir. Well, you know, sometimes when you have an oversized load, I cannot even go into a regular truck stop. I'm so long, right? Like now. Oh, you see that? Wetaskiwin. Wetaskiwin. That's quite a mouthful for you. That's my stop. We're gonna go around that Wetaskiwin, and there's some kind of, I forgot, 72 Avenue, but it's pretty much the same Highway 13. It just goes, once you over past Wetaskiwin, it goes south, and it's the same 13, but the local name is 72 Avenue West. And then finally I merge with 4-lane divided Highway 2A, and then I merge with 2, and then I go west on 12, and I'm right there. But I might need more fuel. I might need, I don't know, 100 liters. Man. So probably gonna try that bank guy again. You're breaking up. I cannot hear you. Probably just didn't want to give me money, you know. I was pretending, and of course you cannot tell if, like, I can hear him fine. You know, he sounds crystal clear. Oh, sir, you're breaking up. It's all static. Like, it's all static. Why I can hear you as if you're in the next seat next to me? Son of a gun, you know, these cell phones, right? If you don't want to talk to somebody, like, oh, I'm entering the elevator. I can hardly hear you. I cannot hear you. Or you're entering the tunnel, right? You can tell them, hey, I'm entering the tunnel. I'm gonna lose you. Okay, what do we keep left over here? What the heck is going on? Oh, the roundabout. Yeah, okay. I know about this.
600 meters, keep left.
Keep left. Well, you mean 13 should be straight. Why are we keeping left? Yeah, 13 west with Wetaskiwin. Oh yeah, they keep left because that lane goes to Edmonton. Okay. Now this is gonna be fun. I hate these things. I hope it's
100 meters at the roundabout, take the second exit.
second exit. Alright, what do we have here? Nobody here? And look how sharp this is. They just left. So I don't want to go on that one.
Exit the roundabout. Continue for 31 kilometers.
I don't want to touch that sharp rock with my tires. Alright, and we are through this crazy little town. No cops are chasing me, so I did good. I was a bit concerned that I would have some encounter with people in rigid hats. But I guess they're busy doing something more important than chasing Captain Sergei, who is perfectly legal and on his route, I might add. Alright, so now we are 32 clicks away from my last but one stop, Wetaskiwin, Petro-Canada, because once I leave this one, the next stop will be my consignee in just west of Red Deer, Alberta. And I think I want to go to that truck stop, I mean that big rest area there I used last time in winter. And then I'm gonna go to the same hotel, because now I know where they have grocery stores. I'll need to find the branch of my bank, because our banks are much larger than in the States, so they have branches in all you know, most towns, and you know, Red Deer is pretty big. So yeah, that fly was messing with me. I don't know where it came from, and then it just sat on the over here, but on that side. And you know, when you open the window, it creates like a suction tube, right? And it sucked her right in, right out. Perfect. Well, my battery has 11% remaining, so I gotta be quick. So I found some parking 2 hours away from my consignee, but I asked him what time you guys go home, and he says 6. And by the time I disconnect, drop the trailer, I had to get fuel because I was getting low again. It was already 4 local time, so 2 hours from here. I didn't want to chance it, so I said, you know what, I found nice parking, let me deliver tomorrow morning. I said, what time you guys on site? He says 6 a.m. All right, and I came in like this. I was supposed to stop at Petro-Canada, didn't see the entrance. It's not an actual truck stop, so I was driving this QA. I have to go this way, right? And then I saw this lot in here. I stopped on the corner and I see this huge lot, and there's 2 semi-trucks parked here, but no trailers. And so I went like this, and I was facing actually that way. And then I look at this Esso and I see yellow hoses, diesel, right? And so I drove the trailer, bobtail across the street there. Diesel is $18.9, so basically $1.19 per liter. So I used the remainder of my money, got $150 worth of diesel, and this lot is pretty wide on that side, so I was able to turn around like barely, but I made it. So now I'm strategically positioned next to these garbage bags. I'm gonna be watching so that nobody steals the garbage. And then, but you see, no, but why of course I park like this is because this is the exit. For me, I know I made that one from that side, so I should be able to make this one from this side without running the curb. Just have to keep it very wide. And Alberta allows night driving as long as you have all your lights on extremities of your load. And I have fresh batteries, so I might as well, you know, use these. I'll change the batteries, and the sunrise is at 7, right? I don't want to wait till then, so I'm probably gonna wake up at like 5:30 and leave at 6 and be there at 8. And I emailed my broker. So far no answer. She's probably ready to fire me because this trip is taking forever. But I said, I'm sorry, I'm still 2 hours away because I needed to get fuel. Like, this thing just drinks fuel like a, you know, thirsty horse drinks water. So what am I supposed to do, right? And I was driving, I got up like real early. I was driving all day today. Anyway, this is it. So no delivery today. We'll deliver tomorrow. Ciao.